the importance of natural healing methods as a companion to medical treatment. So, I always created videos on the importance of not neglecting medical treatment and that the natural methods are not a replacement for medical treatment, but that in no way means that natural methods are unimportant and that medical treatment is more important than natural methods. So I want to discuss that because I heard something on a podcast recently in the um, Professor Andrew Huberman's podcast. He's the professor of neurobiology and ophthalmology at Stanford University in the US, Ivy League University. And he was interviewing another doctor, an MD, and whose research into the current medications being repurposed for other illnesses that are deemed not yet curable, right? And then came the surprising factor that there are 4,000 medications with solutions to 4,000 illnesses, but 14,000 illnesses are still incurable. So that's why he's trying to repurpose some of these existing medications that could possibly work for some of those 14,000 other so-called incurable where there isn't a medication yet. Maybe these can also be used from the 4,000 to those. Means there's 14,000 illnesses incurable. So natural methods, how important is that? It's the only hope for the incurable this thing until they solve the problem, of the medications, right? So I'm going to discuss this briefly in this video. For those of you who like my videos, please don't forget to like and subscribe because this will greatly help my channel to reach out to more people. And also, if one extra optional favor, if you could just drop a comment and share it with just one other person or your social media, I would very highly appreciate that. And anyway, bottom line, thank you just for spending your time with my discussions. I know how precious it is, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Those of you who don't know me, I am Osman. I'm a bioenergy healer with telepathic capabilities on a healing capabilities on a master level, specializing in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses, and also amongst a host of other physiological, psychological, and spiritual ailments. I have an amazing offer, a 10-minute anxiety fix for just $5, less than the price of a Starbucks coffee, delivered to you telepathically anywhere globally, instantly, and pay only if you are satisfied. This goes for any of my treatments. You only pay after it's successful and you are happy. Even if I feel I reach what I supposed to reach and you got it, but you're not really happy, I don't want your money. Don't pay if you're not happy to pay me. Say, yeah, okay, I don't think it was you. I don't think, okay, fine. Don't pay me, right? I think it was by chance this happened or it was not your healing. Okay, don't pay me. So, and you can visit my website, yogawellness786.com, for contact information, right? I'm also an advanced level yoga and meditation teacher, having been practicing this art form for over almost 50 years and teaching for 44 years. In that time, I studied under various teachers from different schools of thought, from different cultures across the globe, from the Far East, from the East, from the Middle East, and the West, including the scientific communities, right? And to that end, I've created my own protocols, basically making things easier, faster, quicker, more time efficient, and results orientated, adapting it, the ancient sciences, to that 21st century, basically. And to that end, I now have students in over 100 countries. My favorite protocol is the 5-minute yoga and meditation program that you can download for free by visiting my website, yogawellness786.com, in exchange for subscribing to my blog, and where you can get further information about my services and contact information, of course, right? And bottom line, and very importantly, Remember that all my healing methods are all natural based and not a replacement for medical treatment. So coming back to this argument, when I see, I just mentioned that, right? Not a replace for medical treatment, all important. What is the importance of medical treatment, right? So let's bring it down to the nuts and bolts, the bottom line importance. What is the bottom line importance of why I say it's not a replacement and so important? So according to Dr. Don Musellem, right? If I'm not pronounced, it's very difficult to pronounce her name, but I remember Dr. Dawn Musellem. She originally qualified as a naturopathic doctor, as a naturopath, right? I don't know whether qualified as a doctor in naturopathic, but natural methods in university. And then she wanted to combine medical. She wanted to give up. She was having so much of success with the patients, with natural methods. She wanted to include the medical, and she wanted to go and study medicine as well. So she went and studied, went to medical school and studied, and she became specialist. And amazing story. She's now in what is considered one of the foremost or leading medical um, uh, treatment centers in the U.S., the Mayo Clinic, right? She's an oncologist. So she is a cancer, stage 4 cancer survivor, and a heart recipient, heart transplant recipient, right? And she's bubbling, and she's called in the Mayo Clinic the magic bullet because she combines both natural methods and the traditional. So she does like the chemotherapy and everything, all the medications she's giving, but she encourages them, with the natural, and the success rate is very high, right? And she hardly loses patients. She very rarely loses patients, right? I mean, she does lose. I mean, she's dealing with stage 4 cancer patients. She does lose patients, but very rarely, right? And what she said from the find, because there's so many findings in science, and people want to choose the finding that is suitable for them, right? Whoever wants to. But I really respect, the way she speaks, and because she's into natural sciences as well, she respects the natural sciences. When a medical doctor respects natural methods and healing methods, I really love them, right? Because I'm from the natural methods, right? So she said, according to scientific evidence, when she speaks of patients, they that want to only do natural methods, they don't want to follow the chemical methods and the medical because they feel it's harmful. So according to the science, what science says that because these are experiments done, right? It's a neutral, it's unbiased. They're not like trying to create some this thing, influence. Okay, according to the experiments done over so many thousands of people, and in this so and so report, you have to go into the nuts and bolts of every report, right? You can research it. That those that are taking natural methods and include medical to the treatment protocol over and above the natural methods increase the chance of survival by between 30%. I mean, 30% more chance of survival is quite significant, right? Like almost one third more. So if there's three people that follow the natural methods and that's going to die, one of them die prematurely. We mean one of them can survive if he only adopted the medical method as well, right? 30%. But wait for this: between 30% and 450%, right? Halfway, the average in the range is like 200 and something percent, right? So more than doubling your chance on average by just adopting, medical treatment. So don't abandon medical treatment, right? This is the importance of it. But medical treatment is got the ability to help you in only 4,000 out of um, 18,000 illnesses, right? That they found. There's altogether 4,000 that they got medications for, 14,000 they don't have a cure for yet. So there's theoretically, maybe there's much more, maybe there's millions of illnesses. According to medical science, there's 18,000 ailments, 4,000 they've got, a fix, a cure for it. What about the other 14,000, right? Number one, sorry, we can't help you, die. No, at least follow the natural. So coming from the natural sciences perspective, so yes, that's the physical general, but there are I'm coming from the energy healing protocol, right? I'm an energy healer on a master level. You get the normal energy healer, you get the master level, and you get the grandmaster level, right? So master level, I can take on very serious cases, right? Like terminal illnesses and a critical care recovery. My actual success rate, calculated over I'm doing this for a day. I was born with this natural talent, right, to spiritually heal people. I just studied it deeply and studied it from the Far East sciences, right, from China, from Shaolin Temple, Qigong Energy Healing, right, um, not Hindu based, right. My yoga sciences is from Hindu based. My energy healing is from Chinese based, and my natural supplements, not supplements, the natural, yes, supplements, but mainly nutrition protocols and so forth that I've adopted is from Western sciences. Right, I include that in all my therapy sessions and so forth. Of course, I can't force my patients because it's not easy, for them to follow these protocols. And but I give them. It's up to every person makes his own choice, right? But my success rate is very high. In the last 5 years, I would say last 6 years or so, let's work in 5 year cycles. On terminal illnesses, it's 100%, right? Stage 4. So they come to me not as an alternative in conjunction with medical treatment. No. Only when the medical treatment is failed, they now in stage 4 cancer. The doctor said, you've got limited time, say your goodbyes, have you written your will, and informing the families to come. And they're usually in a hospital bed. They've reached the hospital. They're not expected to leave that hospital alive. Is when patients are brought to me, because when we say energy healing, no one believes in it, right? What is that? Okay, if I got some extra money and I'll could try anything once, right? But for something serious, they're not going to come to me, generally speaking, right? That's been my experience, right? Only when everything failed, they got no hope, but they don't want to die. And they hear that I'm so good and I've got a lot of success or claim to have a lot of success. And then they approach me and then I take it on, and they always, come out successful. So many success stories. A person was in the last stages of AIDS, right? Skin and bones in the hospital. Of course, no one survives when that's the brain is already expanding within the skull, right? But with the energy healing, she was discharged from hospital within 10 days, right? And what would have happened without the energy healing? So, not that it is more important than medical treatment was also there. So, it needed that extra push. So, I don't say no, abandon medical treatment. By abandoning medical treatment, you're losing between 30 to 450%. Don't lose that, right? You have that at the base, but also do this. I have a very high success rate, and for many incurable illnesses, many incurable things came to me, and I cured it. Right? There was a patient of mine who was suffering. I think about uh, 34 years with a pain in the arm. It was from childhood to 12 years old, right? And she's now was 48 years, 46 years or something, right, when she came to me. And she went around the world and she went to Chinese culture, Eastern, Western, all cultures, and the pain was always there. I said, no, I'll remove it. She said, if you remove it, I'll pay. How much you charging? I said, $50. If you can remove it, I'll pay. And for $50, how much? So, okay, if you remove it, no problem. In one session, it took a long session, took about 4.5 hours, but she didn't even feel the time, and she was feeling it going. It was getting less and less, so she allowed me to go that long. Right? She was feeling surprised. Wow, it's feeling amazing, and I'm feeling it reducing, right? And at the end of the 4.5 hours, it was completely gone, and she moved her arm. She couldn't believe, right? That actually is gone. She took the she took the money and paid it to me immediately. In a fearful way, thinking I'm some type of magician, right, or some type of spirit, right? I got some spirit that's helping me or something, right? Which I'm not admitting to nor denying, right? And but I mean, it's a science, right? Let me not speak in a spooky way, right? It's a science. Energy healing. It is an accepted science in the West. In the US, you can practice as a healer. In the UK as well, you can practice as a healer. There's different rules and regulations, for the practice of it. And it's an accepted field of alternative medicine, right? To practice this. So let me take the hocus pocus out of it. But there is some. I will be honest with you, right? There is the element of spiritual entities involved in this, and you get a strong the spiritual entity in charge of your life force energy, right? You have a life force energy, and there are spiritual beings in charge of it that can grow the energetic part of it. There's the energetic part of your life force, and then there is the actual spiritual part of your life, the soul part, right? So the soul and the energy are very closely related. It's like a very complicated subject, and one gains a lot of uh, power through practicing. So I practice on a daily basis. It's like practicing push-ups, right? You become stronger and stronger and stronger. So we practice, the energy, interacting with it, right? Raising it and dropping it, raising it and dropping it. It gets stronger and stronger. But every fortnight it gets, for me, every fortnight it goes to one increment higher, one increment higher, so that the same illness that took me in that client 4.5 hours, eventually I was able to take it out in minutes, right? In under 15 to 20 minutes, it's gone. The same thing that took 4.5 hours. And what and now recently I did what normally took me like maybe 10 days to do. I did it in 4 minutes flat, right? And yesterday had a patient very ill, right? And it needs a minimum, we'll say a 10-day protocol, right? I did it in one session, right? Because the healing is growing in increments. So why I'm mentioning this, there are different grades of healers. There's also grandmaster. I had occasion to see, a grandmaster healer in action, and there was an ultrasound, connected. There was a tumor the size of a quarter, a small coin, a small tumor, and just to show the experiment. So they put the ultrasound on so we could see on the screen to the whole audience, right? And it was very scientific, and everyone, the scientists and so forth involved, making sure that this is genuine and not a fake camera and fake things, and Photoshop, and all these things, right? So and this was decades ago, right? When I think Photoshop didn't exist, right? Anyway, he came, and he's Qigong Energy Healer, not touching the body, just rolling his hand above that area. And within 2 minutes or so, right? In that 2 minutes or so, we just see like it's like melting and like a smokish coming out, like it's just melting away, and it's getting smaller and smaller, and boom, zero. Within 2 to 3 minutes, he's grandmaster level, and he's just shaking your hand above like that. He's making that sound, right? Because he's keeping that energy, strong in him, and he's just saying, and he took it out. So there is importance, yes. Natural method is not a replacement for medical treatment, right? This is a factual and very important. I've given you the important, the percentage. You're neglecting between 30 and 450%. The doctor will say, okay, we've got nothing. There's some illnesses you go to the doctor, say, sorry, I don't have any treatment for that. I have nothing, right? Because he's only got medication for 4,000 ailments, not for, and he doesn't have for 14,000 ailments. He doesn't have. What do you do, right? So don't neglect that. And also, even with the ones where you're taking medical treatment, don't neglect the natural methods. Don't come to me when you're almost dead. Come to me, together. Use both hand in hand. Don't have to go to a near death experience. And we're not charging big monies, right? How much? $5 for a anxiety fix, 10-minute anxiety fix, $5. Is that money? A Starbucks coffee is more, for crying out loud, right? I never see cheaper than $35 on the internet for energy healing. I never see, right? I saw one of the, maybe there is, I saw one of the sites is saying $35. Mine is $30 an hour for the regular this thing, right? Something more intense and so forth, of course, are charging a little more. I'm not charging millions, right? And so forth. So why not adopt both, right? Adopt both and make things faster, quicker, easier, more time efficient, results, get the results quicker. Don't have to go so much because medical is not cheap. And the natural method is far cheaper, right? So you pay a little bit here in the natural methods and a lot in medicals to fix the problem quicker, right? If you can finish it like maybe even 20% quicker, I'm sure you're saving tons of money. Now, of course, you're saying, okay, it's not my own cash. I got a medical insurance and so forth. But why put your body through? I mean, drugs are drugs, right? They're not a natural thing. You're putting an unnatural thing in your body. So what's the long-term effect? What are the side effects that you're putting yourself through? What value do you put on your quality of life, on your health, and on your longevity? How much you want to save? No, you want to save this money. Is it not worth getting to heal quicker and come out of these artificial drugs as quick as soon as possible? Is it not worth it? It's worth it. You know, take care of yourself and pay importance to the natural methods as well. Hope that information helps you. Take care of yourself always.